Often I find out about weird exam questions from comments left on my videos, and today's story starts back in January when I noticed a handful of comments on my short film called Finding X saying that the video reminded them of an essay prompt from the University of Chicago. I was quite perplexed by that, and I was intrigued to know how my fictional story about numbers could possibly remind someone of an academic essay prompt. But what I found is that students applying for the University of Chicago have to write a few essays, and one of them must respond to a set of pretty weird prompts. Let me show you what I mean. Last year's prompts include, what if the moon were made of cheese, or Neptune made of soap? Pick a celestial object, reimagine its material composition, and explore the implications. They also asked, what's so easy about pi? And to invent a new unit of measurement. They suggest that answers to these questions should be about 650 words, although there isn't actually a hard limit. And you can see for each question they credit a current University of Chicago student because they are the ones who submit the ideas for the questions. This one quotes Mark Twain and says, "There is no such thing as a new idea," and asks, are any pieces of art, literature, philosophy, or technology truly original, or just a different combination of old ideas? Pick something, anything besides yourself, and explain why it is or is not original. Going back through the previous year's questions, they have this classic one here, Find X, which is the one that people had been reminded of by my video. I suppose that writing a poem about X going off on a journey to find their value would be one way to answer the question, but from what I can tell, the purpose of asking these types of questions is to give students an opportunity to share something about themselves and their ambitions. The admissions team would have to read thousands of these, so you do want your essay to stand out. It's tempting to read through the questions and try to think of the most creative and wacky ways to answer them to show that you're thinking outside the box. And that's probably great. No one wants to sound too generic, but it's probably more important to focus on trying to show genuine passion for your course of study. At the bare minimum, you'd want to let the admissions team know that you aren't just applying because your parents are forcing you to, and that secretly you'd rather be going somewhere else or studying something different. If I were to turn my poem into an essay to answer the prompt Find X, I would probably lean in more to one of my favorite lines, which was, math is not about your value, math is about relationships. I might try to show that that line also applies to life itself and talk about the creative nature of math, that it's not just about finding the value of X, but about coming up with creative relationships between numbers to describe the world around us. Find X shares the stage with So Where Is Waldo Really? And everyone knows there are two types of people in the world. What are they? There is how did you get caught or not caught, as the case may be. And in 650 words, describe a picture and explore what it wants. No question here, just a quote. Don't play what's there, play what's not there. Some of these questions are a little bit absurd, but this one shows some self-awareness. It says that the only interesting answers are those that destroy the questions. We have all heard serious questions, absurd questions, and seriously absurd questions, some of which cannot be answered without obliterating the very question. Destroy a question with your answer. For the aspiring mathematical philosophers, we have what can actually be divided by zero. Then we have the inspirational question, what's so odd about odd numbers? There are some more serious than others, but they all leave room for a lot of creativity. Beneath this one, asking us to use the power of string to explain the biggest or smallest phenomenon, there is this one here asking us to write an essay somehow inspired by super huge mustard. And then one which is closer to home for me. In 2015, the city of Melbourne, Australia, created a tree mail service in which all of the trees in the city received an email address so that residents could report any tree-related issues. As an unexpected result, people began to email their favourite trees sweet and occasionally humorous letters. Imagine this has been expanded to any object, tree or otherwise, in the world, and share with us the letter you'd send to your favourite. My friend Julian O'Shea might ace this one. He's made a whole video about emailing trees. Apparently, current students submit the suggestion, is a hot dog a sandwich, so often that they finally had to write a question inspired by it. A hot dog might be a sandwich, and cereal might be a soup, but is a blank a blank? And I really like this question under it here. Fiction reveals truth that reality obscures. I really like it because I came across a similar quote recently, and it helped me to put into words why I think fiction is sometimes worth reading and why you can learn things from books even if they are fictional. I did find some essays written by students who were successful in their application. I particularly like this answer posted to collegeadvisor.com, answering a prompt about the mantis shrimp and its amazingly complex eyes with 16 different types of color receptors. They ask, what might the mantis shrimp be able to see that we cannot? What are we missing? I really like this answer. It is a bit more serious, but it offers some new perspectives to both the good and bad things that sight has given us. They talk about the discrimination that can be attributed to our sense of vision, and of the ways that sight could be considered limiting. And they bring it all back to ideas from the book Flatland, which explores the challenge of explaining higher realms to those who cannot experience it. The king of Pointland is so narrow-minded and insular that he refuses to believe that there are objects larger than he is. When confronted with a square, all he sees is another point. As humans, our abilities are limited as well. We do not have the innate skills of the mantis shrimp with its 16 receptors. However, centuries of innovation have made us inept to fully perceive the skills which we are incapable of. The mantis shrimp can see a greater spectrum of rays and waves and possibly some great unknown, but perhaps it is better that its abilities remain a mystery. At this time, we are probably not ready for such visual capabilities. Our current ones have already proven to be overbearing. Maybe the best things in life are not meant to be seen because they must be felt or understood. There is a 7% acceptance rate at the University of Chicago, and whilst these essays make up a part of the application, they'd also be looking at grades and other materials, and they even have an optional SAT. The University of Chicago is not the only college with weird prompts. Here are some from other places. We have, if you could choose to be raised by robots, dinosaurs, or aliens, who would you pick and why? You have just finished your 300-page autobiography. Please submit page 217. For this one, you have 150 words. Take a risk. Perhaps you could speak from experience or imagination in answering, you've just reached your 1 millionth hit on your YouTube video. What is the video about? And this one from Yale. What is something about which you have changed your mind in the last 3 years? Upon reflection, if you don't have an answer for that one, then perhaps you weren't as open-minded as you thought you were. These essays are one way that you can show that you are well-rounded and interested in a variety of topics. And if you are someone who wants to foster those interests and hobbies, then check out Skillshare, who have kindly sponsored this video. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of online classes. It's a place to get inspired, learn new skills, and put them to work in impactful ways. I was interested in joining Skillshare to learn ways to make my content and workflow better. I enjoyed Thomas Frank's course, Mastering Productivity, Create a Custom System That Works. It made me feel like I was about to be entering my organized era. There's a special link down in the description, and the first 1,000 people who click it will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Thanks for watching this video, and a special shout out to today's Patreon Cat of the Day, Rio Jane.